Hello everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome to Off the Board, along with using a Creative Cuts file all the way back from September of last year. And what is happening here is I am using this one. It's from Elsie's Cuts, I believe is what it's called. And we were talking, Moira and myself, about she was given this pin from Christina, I think the second week in July, for her Monday series that she does with Karina. And we were kind of talking about like how she was going to use these light bulbs and how there's so many different things you could do. And what I was saying is, if I was her, I would use this cut file that we've had, and if she still had it, it would work really well. And so we were talking and throwing out some ideas and everything, and together we decided we were going to go ahead and reuse this pin that she's already used. And of course it's Tuesday, so I'm playing with my Christmas in July theme. So I have this the exact same light bulb as her. I had already pre-stitched in these sequins. Now I had done this all the way back in September, thinking I was going to do some sort of Christmas light themed layout, and I just never got to it. However, when I was printing things out for my December daily that I've been trying to work through a little bit this month, I have this really fun photo I kind of forgot that I had taken, and it was like, I think I took it the 23rd. I think it was like my last day of work before it was Christmas. And I love the way this is. So I've got my really fun coffee mug there, along with the Christmas tree all lit up. And then you can see that I'm watching Food Network. Sean and I love Food Network. I mean, we love it all the time, but at Christmas, it's like all that's on. We love all the baking shows, and it's funny. Neither one of us are like massive fans of cooking per se by ourselves. I mean, I cook every night, but I don't like get huge enjoyment out of it, but we love to watch it. So that's what the photo is. And I've got my fun, cozy little slippers on and just really love it. So I'm going to go ahead and use it like that. My photo is hanging from the ornament light bulb. And then to really emphasize the fact that they're light bulbs, I wanted to go ahead and create like a string of them. So I simply traced a light bulb from a stock image from Google. And then I just made some swirly lines. You can see that there with my pencil. I'm going to poke a whole bunch of holes and do the stitch. I can't think of what you call it right now. It's not the back stitch. The loop stitch, that's not it either. But the one where you go in through the same hole and then you come back in and you loop it together. I can't think of what you actually call that right now, but that's the stitch that I'm using. It's super subtle because of the fact that I'm using like one single string instead of like a whole bunch put together. My words have just completely left me today. But I love how it works. And I did it in, I think, a black so that it really stands out. And then I'm going to go ahead and once I get all of that done, and it doesn't take very long when you're doing this type of stitching, as long as you have something on. I actually do this as I'm stitching this stuff. This is normally when I sit and I talk with Jackson or ask the kids to like have a dance party, or there's lots of things that I can do during this time while I'm working on this. So that tends to be when I go ahead and do that stuff. And then I do the rest of it when they're off doing other things. So here I am, I've got my stitching done. I'm going to now take my little sketch light bulb that I've done, and I'm going to go through some of my pattern papers and just cut out the light bulbs. They're nothing special. I don't add any extra to them. I just want the shape of the light bulbs. And I'm using my stash from my Christmas stash. I haven't gotten anything new yet. I did order something. Something's coming for this year, but it's not here yet. So I'm just using my stash that I've had, and this is really good because of course I'm in my spending freeze and you want to be using up your stash, and I still have a ton of Christmas stash that I really, really, really need to work through. And that'll be a whole nother video. But I just, like I said, picked a few different ones. I'm going to hang them off randomly throughout. And I love, love, love the way that this turns out. So this is how I'm incorporating those light bulbs. Now, there are 1,000 different ways you personally could have used these light bulbs. Each one of them have little different things in them. Like there's a ship, there's a underwater like aquarium, there's space, there's butterflies, there's hot air balloons. Like there's so many different things you could take from this pin. You could probably use this pin as inspiration about 10 times over. I literally took the fact that they were light bulbs, so I'm being super literal with it. But I did that because I knew I was making this into a Christmas themed layout. The other part about this that is actually technically from Off the Board as well is my title. I found and was inspired by it from my Pinterest board. It's called Titles, and that is where, when I want a really good layout, a title that I haven't just thought of myself, I go in there and I find one. And one of them that I've been kind of waiting to do is, my favorite color is Christmas lights, and this photo completely represents that. The light bulbs now come into play with my photo and my title. Everything kind of ties in together, and it just makes me so happy. And of course, because this is a layout about me, I can have it be whatever I want. It can be colorful. It has pinks in it. It's got all sorts of different things. I even add this little Santa there because he's holding up like a string of stuff, and I felt like that worked. It kind of gave off the same theme. And now all that I have left to do is to figure out where my title is actually going to live. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of this cling wrap stuff. Now, I do not do this with all of my layouts. In fact, this is probably the first time I've done this in a couple years. But when you have a super long title and you want to move it around to figure out where you want it placed, it's helpful. It's still a pain in the butt, but it's helpful. And I didn't know if I wanted my title to be on the left or the right or where exactly I wanted it. And I fiddle about trying to figure out exactly where I want this thing to go. Actually, in the end, what I end up doing is moving it actually centered. So part of the layout, the title, the top of it goes up on where you would screw in the light bulb at the top there, that white area. Part of my title is going to go there, which is really good because it needed something there. It was quite bare, and I didn't want to try to slip some pattern paper under there, so that worked perfectly. And then the rest of it goes right underneath the photo to finish off with the title. I also am using some of these. They're kind of like enamel dot jewel things. I got them from when I was published from Scrapbooking and Cards Today. It came in the little kit that you got as a reward for being published, and I felt like they were the perfect little pieces and accents for the top there, as like where they're being shrunk from. So loved that. I felt like that worked really well, and gave it a nice little sparkle up there too, and just a little added something. I still feel like this is quite bare and it just needs to be wrapped up in some sort of way. So I'm going to add a little bit of pattern paper strips at the bottom, along with a tiny bit of like the gold foiled ribbon type stuff that I have, trim I guess, and 2 more light bulbs, and that really finishes it off. So you'll see that in a minute. Please make sure you head on over and check out Moira's take. So this is her second take using this pin, and I hope you'll see how you'll enjoy it. I've seen it. I really love what she's done with it, and I hope you have fun seeing 2 different takes using the same type of cut file in a different type of way. So that being said, this is my last Christmas in July video. I've so loved doing them, and it was great inspiration for me. I can't wait for being able to document Christmas in December. And here's a look at my finished layout. I'll see everybody soon. Bye.